This is, so first I had blocks. Everything that I'm using now, for the most part, should translate nicely over into CodePen. So right now I'm just going to copy and paste that same code, go open a new pen, add it down here, maybe click run. Does it do something? No. We remember that when we start a new pen in CodePen, we have to add the p5.js library. That's always your first step. Your second step would be to give your project a meaningful name. So over here, this is my while loop demo. Now if I click run, do I see anything? I do not. I think random. So a couple things we'll have to make a change to. When going from GameLab into CodePen, you have to add in some couple lines of code. The first one is create canvas. In GameLab, they tell you how big your page is. It defaults to the 400 by 400. The art analogy is having a new page to do your work. So if we do that, needed when transferring code from GameLab into CodePen.io, right? This stuff right here. You need setup. This is the code that runs just once, and then you have create canvas, 400 by 400. You can make it bigger, maybe 1,000 by 1,000. Run. All right, now it's huge. Very good. The one other change I made was, notice down here, it originally said random number. And in CodePen, it doesn't have that specific function name. Instead, they call it just plain old random. So I deleted number off of my copy and pasted GameLab code, and now I get something very, very similar. My bunch of circles. Now that my canvas is larger, we can do much more interesting things. Let's get 600 circles. So this is one of the capabilities that CodePen allows us to do, but GameLab isn't. GameLab is limited in that regards. And you have your line of circles. And you may have noticed in my screen, I have a run button. At this point, if you haven't made this run button appear, I highly recommend you click on Settings, then click on Behavior, uncheck this Enabled box. And that's because, and I'll show you, I'll crash my GameLab intentionally, so my CodePen. So let's say right here, let's say while I was learning, I forgot this line, something very common. I click Run, and sometimes the computer won't catch this beforehand. But right now, I'm clicking around, my CodePen's actually frozen. I've entered what we call an infinite loop. Right now, at the very top of my code, I've said var x equals 0. Down here, I'm checking to see, is x less than 600? X is 0 right now, so 0 is less than 600. Then I keep repeating. I commented out this line that helps me move closer to 600. And suddenly, I'm stuck inside this loop. Till the end of time, I will always be trying to draw something, and finally, page unresponsive. Chrome finally gave up. I crashed my page. Now, if you didn't have this button, and you would have to, let's say, exit this page, and then it crashes and we get all snap, and then we go back to our CodePen account. Without having that button there, you will not be able to access your pen. So since I turned on that button, I can go back in, I can make that modification to revive my code, to exit out of that infinite loop. So we'll go here, notice screenshot coming soon because it can't compile itself, but at least I can go back in and figure out, this is the line that made it broken. So, settings, behavior, uncheck enabled. Before, you're very used to seeing that instantaneous update when making changes. This is a precaution as we are entering territory where we can be infinite looped. Last semester, it was my first time working with CodePen, and a couple people lost their accounts. So this is twice even. So this will help prevent that. Do uncheck enabled. We have about 5 minutes left, class. Do fill out your daily reflections. And as soon as you've done that, plugged in your computer, have a good Tuesday.